And there you go, a little Johnny Cash for you action right here on PennsPeakRadio.com and the Wall to Wall Country Show. Good afternoon, everybody. And it is into the second hour. A quick reminder that First Northern Bank and Trust, your community, their commitment is the reason why this show goes on and on and on and on. It's because of those guys, so we appreciate that. Make sure you check them out at 1stnorthernbank.com. This part of the show, we're always excited that we have a special guest on the show. And I can honestly say this is truly an honor and a pleasure to have this lovely lady on the show today. Now, if you guys are an avid listener to the Wall to Wall Country Show, you're well aware that I had on just a couple weeks ago Johnny Lee. Of course, he is country music legend Johnny Lee, urban cowboy, the original urban cowboy. Had a nice little chat with him a couple weeks ago. And I didn't realize right away that I would also have the opportunity to have his daughter on the show. So excited to have on board. Singer, songwriter, mom, performer, doing all kinds of things, staying busy and putting out some brand new music. The one, the only, Miss Cherish Lee. Hey, Cherish, how are ya?
I want to take you with me everywhere I go. That was the best. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
When I to the grocery store, I want to be like, okay, go. Anywhere I go. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're quite welcome. And it's definitely earned every second of that. But I have to throw something out here. It's so funny when I was reading your bio. Now, I knew, that, Johnny Lee was your dad, the original urban cowboy and all that kind of stuff. And then it says on here, and Hollywood vixen. That's how they describe your mom, Charlene Tilton. Most people would probably know her from Dallas, but I just think that's funny. It's like, wow, you're married to an urban cowboy and a vixen. I mean, you're not married, but you're the daughter of an urban cowboy and a vixen. So I'm not sure what that says for you exactly.
I know. Well, let me tell you, I am a product of the two, and what happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas
forever. No, I was a product of the Aladdin Hotel.
Oh my! Oh
yeah, my folks got together, and they weren't together that long, but I'm a product of the two of them.
So you have an actress and you have, a singer-songwriter performer. Was there at any point you were like, oh, what do I want to do? Do I want to be an actress like my mom, or do I want to be a country singer like my dad?
Yeah, I dabbled in acting a little bit.
Okay.
The very first audition I ever went on, my mom actually let me audition for it because she didn't think I was going to book it, which was American History X. Uh-huh. And I booked it. And it's such a weird, crazy story of how that whole thing came to be. But long story short, I was very, very young, and I booked the role of Edward Furlong's girlfriend. But in the original script, there was it was just crazy sex scene and all of that. And the director, Tony Kaye, was like, don't worry about it. We'll have a body double there and all that. Anyways, we get to set no body double. So
oh, no.
We're like, well, obviously we can't do this. So I was in 8th grade when I booked that. And they called me back later, and they were like, we actually Tony wrote in a role for you, so come on back. And I filmed for a week. But there was no real need for the role, so my name is still in the credits. And Ed Norton ended up getting his hands on the project and editing it, and Tony was like, I don't want, this isn't my film. But I think Ed Norton did a really great job, because I think otherwise, between the sex and the violence, it just would have been rated something crazy, and it wouldn't have been what it was. But anyway, so I did little things here and there. Mm-hmm. But I just, there was you would give it everything you had, and sometimes they wouldn't bite, and so there wasn't really there was no control, Mm-hmm. You could go and pour out your heart and soul, and then nothing would come of it. Whereas with music, it's all hands on, and I absolutely love it. And especially this project in particular, I am doing it as a true independent artist, like no label, no investor, anything like that. And I am wearing every single hat. And the way that this whole project came to be is just crazy and has such a cool story. But so I definitely love the music aspect, all of the creativity that goes into it. So long answer, but yes, I prefer the music side of things.
Okay. That's awesome, though. But I mean, you're going to find your niche, and it's nice that you had the opportunity to explore both sides, and then go, no, you know what, I feel better over here, and this is what I'm doing. And obviously you're doing something right. And I think the nice part, you just made a comment, you're wearing every hat. So you're not riding on your dad's coattails. It's not like, you're like, oh, well, daddy's going to get all his friends to do all the work for me and stuff. You're doing it. This is your project. This is your work. And you can stand proud knowing that this is all about you. And I think people need to know that. They need to realize how hard of a worker you are, and that you are wearing all the hats and making this your project, not a sidekick to daddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and also he's definitely the kind of person that would not, he wouldn't do that with me. Mm-hmm. So I think once he saw I was really taking it seriously, and once he saw this project kind of come to life, was, I always knew that he loved me and was proud of me and just wanted to see me succeed in whatever wherever my heart really was. Mm-hmm. And I think once he started to just see me completely excel with this, that's when he would give me those shout-outs and do that sort of thing. But no, he is not the kind of all right, hey, here's my daughter. He's not that morose, pushy out there, and everything he's got, it goes to, the sibling.
You stand on your own 2 feet, girlfriend.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, this whole project has a couple of different layers to it. Obviously it's something you wanted to do, kind of like as a dream of, getting your music out there and stuff like that. But, you're there's a story attached to it, and there's a certain, maybe a little extra specialness to this one that, you're making mention in your bio and stuff. Do you want to explain that just a little bit more about how this actually all kind of came about and where it sits with you?
Yeah. I was tied into music contracts, contractual agreements for quite a while. And it really was just stunting and suffocating, and literally nothing came out of it, nothing good, and you can't do anything. So once I got the free and clear, I remember I was first of all, I moved to Nashville 3+ years ago, and my husband and I got married Christmas Eve of 2015.
Aww.
And we got pregnant that January. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so I was still in the contractual agreements at that point. And I was 9 months pregnant, and I remember sitting on the porch with my husband, and I'm just praying. I'm Lord, I don't know how, but help a sister out, please. Mm-hmm. And once I got the free and clear from everything, I could finally breathe. And so when my son turned, I think it was 2.5 months or so, because I had been in those agreements, I hadn't been working. So I literally had $1,500 to make an album in Tennessee, in Nashville, Music City. And everybody out here was Cherish, that's not even a realistic thing. And there's no way you can do this. And no, it just, everybody was shutting it down. And I was well, you don't know Cherish Lee, so
you go, girl.
Thank you. I ended up getting it done. I live by, if there's a will, there's a way, and you can accomplish what you can see. But I made this album against all odds. You know, I'm really like defying kind of where the music business is at, and people's minds are being blown. Like Tequila Cowgirl, my single that's out right now, and it's also the title track off the album Tequila Cowgirl, just got named number one in the top 5 female country singles of 2017 by Digital Journal. And so it's like, I can't believe this. Like, I'm watching all this like crazy hard work pay off, and I'm honored that people would, you know, authentically follow it, love it, and, you know, put me there.
Well, that's got to also, like, after all your trials and you're fighting all this time, you know, kind of give you the feeling of that's where you're supposed to be. You know, the realization of saying, okay, finally, this feels good. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is the path I'm supposed to follow, and all that, and you know, kind of the solidification of it all, instead of kind of going like you were, you know, am I supposed to do this? My goodness, you know, you take the doubt that you may have had in yourself, and it goes right out the window, because it validates you. If you put something out there and people are loving it and you're seeing it be successful, that's your validation right there, and that has to be a great feeling, Cherish.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing. It was like, all right, I had learned so much, and there was really no room for doubt, and it was like my first step, I was like, I know exactly what I want. I want an album made for $1,500 because that's what I got. And then my next step was like, okay, I want to work with this producer, or this, it started out as a drummer. His name is Nate Wadan. I met him in Texas, and I saw him performing, and he gets off stage, and I'm like, brother, you are amazing. Like, I got to work with you. He's like, well, I'm headed to Nashville. I was like, I'm headed to Nashville. Anyways, years later, I get in touch with him, and he, I was talking to another producer with another studio, but they couldn't, like, house his drum set with the right mics. And anyways, so I was talking to Nate, and I was like, you know, like, I don't even care if I record this album in a basement. Like, I want to work with you, and I just want to get this done. And he was like, well, we could record it in my basement. And I was like, will you produce my album? He was like, absolutely. So he had never done it before, but he believed in the project. Everybody that played on it, like, fell in love with the story, fell in love with the music. They were really excited to be a part of something so different, and really, like, gave them the opportunity to put their best foot forward and shine. Because all of the musicians who played on this were, this was not like, you know, gonna boost them up financially by any means. So it was just, they were a part of it because they loved it.
Right.
I'm forever grateful. So it was like, yeah, with this project, every step was like solid.
Right.
And anytime like anything got crazy expensive, or people weren't calling me back, or something got like too hectic and weird, I was like, all right, obviously this is not the correct way to go. All right, next turn. And it, like, almost, like you said, solidified that trust within yourself and within myself, I should say. But yeah, it was kind of neat to see, I think, how you can make that work in your day-to-day life, like, regardless of what it is that you do. You know, just really trusting your gut instinct and walking in who you are, authentically. So it's neat.
I think that I honestly, I think if you didn't continue to do it, you could be an inspirational speaker, especially for women and girls. You know what I mean? It's like, stick to your guns, girls. If you know what you want, you got to go after it. And sometimes you got to fight hard, and sometimes you got to, you know, pinch pennies and whatever, but keep your goal, stay focused, and have the confidence in yourself that you can get done what you want to get done. So I think that's part of what I'm hearing as you're telling this story, and I think that would be an awesome piece of advice that you could pass on to some, you know, and any artist, but, you know, just kind of girls too. It's like, don't get bullied. Do what you need to do. You know, stay focused.
Yeah.
So, you focused on getting the album and getting the single. So tell us a little bit about your single that is out, which is also the title of the album, Tequila Cowgirl. Is this something you penned? Did you co-pen it? If you didn't, how did you find it? Tell us a little bit about that song.
Yeah, I sat down and wrote it with a dear friend of mine out here, brilliant writer named Bill DeLuigi, and him and I we've written a ton. I think almost every song on the album was co-written with him, and another one with a gentleman named Pete Salas, who wrote "Shut Up and Fish" for Maddie and Tay, and a bunch of stuff for Kev Mo, and so I really that was one of the wonderful things about Nashville. It just opened its doors so graciously to me, and the talent out here is just godly. So, but yes, all of the songs on the album are mine and my story. But I sat down with Bill, and basically I used to live in Texas on a ranch out there with my Papa Bear, with Johnny Lee, and I fell madly in love with it there. So, you'd get up when the sun came up, and our range hand at the time, Waldo, he had taught me basically how to work this place and work with the animals. And I helped deliver baby cows. I was chased by a bull. I'd go get eggs from the chicken coop, and my mule Jenny was there, and I got to work with her and ride her, and all of these just incredible things. And that was my heart just thrived. But a lot of change was taking place in my life, and it was just time to move to Nashville, and I was going back and forth anyways. So, and it's by far the best decision I've ever made in my life, because I met my incredible husband here, and we got married, the baby, recorded an album here, music video, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of was looking back at okay, what might my life had been if I would have stayed. So Tequila Cowgirl is the sliding door, if you will, to maybe where I would have been if I was still in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So that's
the story. Nice.
Loving Jesus and tequila.
There you go. You can't go wrong with tequila.
Awesome. After a hard day's work.
Well, if you can hang in there for a little bit yet, Cherish, what I'd like to do is I got to take a break, and I'm going to come back with your song, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other tunes on it, a little connectivity on how people can find you and stuff. Can you hang in there for just a little bit yet?
Absolutely.
Awesome. We are speaking with Cherish Lee, girl standing on her own 2 feet. Very inspirational story. Definitely somebody that, struggling. Take her words and, put your feet down, root yourself, and be confident in yourself. And she's got the story to prove that. Set your mind to something and figure out when, you got a boulder thrown at you, be a river and go around it. So awesome music coming your way. We're going to talk more about her brand new album that's out there and her new single and some of the other tunes that are on it and how you can reach out to this girl in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. More with Cherish Lee coming up in just a bit, plus her tune, Tequila Cowgirl. Back there we heard Cherish Lee and her single that she has out, which is also the title of her new album that's out there. Little something called Tequila Cowgirl. Now, I watched the video. You guys can catch the video as well on her website. And I just think there's certain moments of that video where you are just having a blast, girl. You're just having fun. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I did. I really loved it. I mean, there were nice moments, you're driving around in your truck, in the fields and all that. But then there were other moments in there that I was just giggling. I mean, people have to see the video because it's really cute.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we had a good time making it. Actually, the funny thing was the very first shot. So we had kind of a Lulu of a time getting to the farm that we filmed at.
Oh, okay.
So that's just, it took us several hours to get there because of crazy stuff that just kept happening with vehicles and all that. Anyways, but once we finally did get there, my director Kevin Deems, he was getting his drone ready. And he's like, all right, you're going to go here and ride in this field, and it's going to be beautiful, and blah, blah, blah. And he gets and I get on the horse, and he starts up the drone, and that horse was like, oh, hell no. Took off with me on it into the thicket, and I was just like, there was no safe place to fall off this animal. And I just kind of ducked down with my face buried into its neck because we were just getting flat-cacked with branches. And I'm like, hopefully he doesn't knock himself out because we're both going to go down. And at that point, no one was watching the drone, like this really expensive piece of camera equipment with, anyways, and they were just like, oh, God, Cherish, you okay? I was like, it'll be fine.
Well, you know, and
it's to settle down.
That's awesome. I mean, there's always a story to these things, you know. It's never going to go as smoothly as the final product, you know.
Nah.
And it's nice that you can giggle about it, too, and not get all, you know, freaked out. It's like, oh, yeah, my God. You know, it's like, just deal with it. Horses do things. I've ridden horses my whole life. And you know what? Sometimes they're just going to do whatever the hell they want.
Well, yeah. And I had just met this horse, and the stirrups weren't, like, really where they should have been. But I was not doing any crazy riding. But there's this one shot where I'm riding the horse around the water, and I'm not a fearful person, but I will tell you because that was after the fact.
Okay.
Kevin's like, do you think we can get this shot? I'm like, damn it, Kevin. But yeah, so we did it, and I think it looks nice. I think the hair is or the wind is blowing through my hair, but I was just like, oh, please don't take off with me.
Okay, dude, get it. You got it out of your system. Now behave yourself for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to work at stables, and we had 30-some horses, and every once in a while, they just wanted to do what they wanted to do, and they really didn't care what you thought.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you got a 2,000-pound animal that's got a mind of its own.
Well, and that's the thing. And being on the ranch, like, I hate the term, you know, you break a horse or whatever, but my mule, I was the very first person that she had ever really had contact with, and she was away from her mom. So I basically became mom, best friend, whatever, to her. And when she was finally old enough, I got to ride her and break her. And there was one time, I mean, she threw me so far because it was my bad. But anyways, so I'm normally like, I've fallen off, I've been thrown off, and all of that, and normally not nervous. But I don't know if it's because I'm a mom now that I felt something that I haven't felt in almost since like childhood. I was pretty gosh darn nervous, and I think I have to attribute it to that. Yes?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe just a little. Or hey, honey, when you get old, you find out things hurt a whole lot more when you're older. You know, you fall off a horse when you're a kid, you bounce back up, and it's not a problem. You fall off the horse at 45. Let me tell you something. That leaves a mark. So, you know. So anyway, but that. You know, it sounds like it was fun and it was interesting. And, you know, you can't have everything go just perfectly or it would be boring. So good for you. But getting back to your music just a little bit, we're going to talk about two other tunes that one I'm going to play when I get to say goodbye to you. And now this whole show, everybody knows it gets recorded, played back on Sunday. We've got another tune we're going to play at the end of the show to remind everybody to tune in on Sunday and catch the whole thing over again. But before we go there, let's talk a little bit about connectivity and how people can get their hands on your music. Where can they find you? Are you going to be doing some touring? Give us the lowdown on some of that stuff of finding your music and finding you.
The lowdown.
Yeah,
I have a website that a dear friend of mine has done, and she's taken all the pictures. So thank you, Lauren. The website is www.cherishleemusic.com, CHERISHLEE music.com. And, the link to the music video is there. My Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, and there's other, fun pictures in the gallery there. Me with, performing with my Papa Bear at the Ryman and the Opry and with Charlie Daniels, all sorts of cool stuff. But and then the music, Tequila Cowgirl is out right now, and that's available on Spotify. It's on a bunch of different lists there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's available on iTunes and Amazon Music. So and then the full album will be released January 2018.
Awesome.
And the tour dates are, yes, they are coming.
Okay.
Again, I am doing everything myself, so I'm like, okay, I'm trying to, book the 2018 tour right now.
Good. So, yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Just ways for the connectivity of it is, remember, it's CherishLeeMusic.com to find information on her. There's some great pics. I actually like the one, you're taking a nap with the puppy dogs there in a barn. That's probably one of my favorites. I do like that one. But there's some great other pictures in here and stuff that people can look at and kind of get to learn you a little bit, learn who you are a little. And then you said the video, which is the video that I watched, is on there for Tequila. Tequila Cowgirl is on there, so they can listen to that and also see the final product of the horse running crazy and the drone getting out of control and all that kind of stuff. So they can catch that on there as well. With your social media, are you the person are you the one who does the connecting there, or do you have help with that?
I am. Yes, it's me. So,
okay.
But don't message me on Twitter. I lost my password however long ago, and I just will never know what's happening on Twitter. So
okay.
Instagram or Facebook. I mean, you can tweet. Go ahead and tweet away, but I won't see it.
Okay, that's awesome.
Somehow I still remain tweeting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure if you contacted them, they'd help you out. But Facebook's a good way to contact you, Instagram, and, of course, just making a way to keep an eye on the website, which I'm sure is going to be when you are getting your tour put together, when you got some sites and some dates and some times and things like that. A little bit more information when the album's coming available. So that sounds like, you've already got your hands full for 2018 with the project there.
Yeah.
Got a wink, wink, nudge, nudge of something else your fans can be looking forward towards for 2018?
Yes, I'm already working on a Christmas album.
Yay! For 2018.
I know, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, hey, you got to get that stuff going so it's ready to be released right in time as Christmas gifts.
Yes.
Awesome.
Exactly.
So your fans can be looking for that as well. Before I let you go, let's talk a little bit now. How many songs are actually going to be on the album? I meant to ask you that before.
Yeah, so the album was done and totally complete, and it was 7 songs.
Okay.
But I just called Nate Wadan a couple days ago, and I said, hey, brother, can we put one more song on there? So it's going to be 8 total.
Awesome. Nice round number. I like it. 8 songs on Tequila Cowgirl. You guys want to be looking for that to be released sometime in January 2018, and keep an eye open for her, all her stuff on CherishLeeMusic.com. 2 of the other songs, let's chat a little bit about those, and then I'll let you go because I know you're busy and you got a baby that's probably going to be screaming your name here any second. Ain't Your Grandma's Country Song. I'm curious to know what that one's about.
Well, it was one of those beautiful things that came to be, and it was like a song that just wrote itself, basically. It pays homage to the old classic country as well as the evolution of where country music is. And I thought it was important because you hear so many people we get grief about where country music is, and I think there's so many different parts to where country is now. Mm-hmm. There's like the bro country and the indie country, whatever. So it was one of those where it was like, you know what, we love where it came from. Mm-hmm. We hail where it came from, but we're going to go ahead and just jack it up a little. So
okay. Awesome. Yeah. Looking forward to hearing that one. And at the end of the show, we talked about putting one more out there again. And these are all coming off the album. So people are getting kind of like a little tickle to kind of get a feel of what this album's going to be all about. The last one that we're talking about playing towards the end to remind people to listen in on Sunday if they missed the interview One Pillow Over. And you're doing that one as a duet.
I am. It was actually the very first song I wrote in Nashville. And on the song with me is a gentleman named Mike. I call him Mike Moonpie because he's got a big famous band in Texas called Mike and the Moonpies. So Mr. Mike Moonpie himself is singing the duet with me, and he just had a baby with his beautiful wife as well. So
awesome.
Congratulations to them. But yeah, this is I was really debating on like who I wanted to have perform this with me, and he did. I couldn't have asked for anything better or more. He did a phenomenal job. His voice is so cool.
All right, and that's One Pillow Over, which we'll do at the end of the show. Just FYI, if you do get those tour dates and you find yourself up here in Pennsylvania, near the Pocono Mountains on the east side, Cherish, all of my artists always have an open door policy here. You're more than welcome to swing by the studios at any point in time and swing by and do like a little impromptu. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're ever in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, please get in touch, and we'd be more than honored to have you in our studios here.
Well, girl, you know I will.
I know, and I'm looking forward to that day. So cross my fingers it's a lot sooner rather than later. But, hey, listen, you know what? I want to wish you all the best of luck keeping up with everything you have going on. Busy lady, but definitely an inspirational story. We're talking with Cherish Lee, singer, songwriter, performer, soon-to-be inspirational speaker, I'm sure. Advice giver to young talent all over the place, for sure, and definitely somebody to take some good advice from, because she's doing it all. And you know, I have to say, the other side of the coin to that, Cherish, is the fact that even if you get to a point where you have to turn some of those things over to someone else, you've been there, done that, and you're going to be able to go, dude, you're not doing it right. This is why I want you to do it. And you're going to know, you know what I mean? You're not going to be able to let anybody take advantage of you. You're going to be well in tune with what's going on. And I think that happens a lot, too, to young artists, because they don't know, you know, what should be done and stuff. And I think that's smart on your part that you do know how things are supposed to be done. And, you know, you're going to be like kind of keeping like one eye on it, even if you do have to hand some of those duties over to someone else. So good for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time and for your kind, wonderful words. I love that. Thank you.
Well, you're quite welcome, and you deserve them all, my dear. Listen, I look forward to seeing you or hearing from you again, even if you don't get the chance to come up. You're always welcome to be back on the show. So when you got something new and exciting, like your Wink Wink Nudge Nudge Christmas album for next year, please get back in touch, and we'll help you get the word out about that as well, or any new and exciting news you got going on. You're always welcome back on the show, no matter if it's phone or actually in person, Cherish. You're always welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Good luck with everything. If you would like to go ahead and announce your song, we'll play that, and we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll be in touch. Girl? Go ahead and introduce your little song here.
All right. This is Cherish Lee, and y'all are listening to One Pillow Over off of my new album, Tequila Cowgirl.
Nope. You're listening to Ain't Your Grandma's Country. That one's at the end of the show. Try that again.
I'm sorry.
Take two.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're listening. Yes, you're about to listen to This Ain't Your Grandma's Country song.